episode 7, we are going to be meeting the creators of the MARCI show, Zoe McKay and I'm sorry,
Lia Klug.
Lia Klug. Yeah, thank you guys for coming.
Of course.
How are you guys doing tonight?
Doing pretty good.
Yeah.
Excited to be here. We love
Excited
the
to be
MARCI
here,
show.
chilling. Excited to talk about the MARCI show.
That's dope. Off the bat, I want to hear a little bit about how you guys first came to Emerson and how you guys met.
Cool.
Okay,
You
so
tell your story because yours is easier.
okay, so I am a film major. I came in as media arts production, and I knew, I wanted to be into screenwriting and everything, so I just felt like this had a really good screenwriting program, and I ED'd to Emerson. Here I am. Came here from North Jersey, best place on earth, and yeah, now a sophomore, so I came in class of 27.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. And what about you,
Yeah.
Zoe? Leah,
Yeah.
sorry.
It's okay. So I applied to about 16, 17 schools when I was applying to colleges, and I kind of, for all of them, I wasn't super sure what I wanted to do. I kind of applied to a million random majors at all 17 schools. One of my front runners was business at Syracuse, which what am I, crazy for me? It was at the end, it was either going to be business at Syracuse, theater at Vassar, or journalism here. Right, of course, the natural projection of things.
Trinity.
And Syracuse was too expensive, and then didn't get into Vassar, so I said, I guess I'm going to Emerson. And upon committing to Emerson, afterwards, is when I realized it was in Boston. I really just did not know much about Emerson, forgot I had applied for journalism. That was a surprise to me. And then I came here, and it was awesome, and I was here for journalism, and kind of immedately wanted to change to BMA, which I did very recently this semester.
Yeah.
So.
And how we met. We met at sorority recruitment. We both were kind of on that grind of don't really have tons of friends yet. Kind of gotta put ourselves out.
She looks like she'd be my friend.
Exactly. And then the way the first time we ever really spoke is we were kind of next to each other on the bridge, and we both got our bids for our sorority, and we were just the two closest standing to each other, so we were you want to take a picture? And
now that picture is one of the most beautiful photos of the start of a beautiful friendship.
Yeah. And
I would also like to say, though, that was your first real conversation with me. My first real conversation with you was before that, when Zoe shared with the group that she had Kevin Jonas of the Jonas Brothers Venmo in her phone.
mm-hmm.
And I thought, that is the coolest thing I've ever heard. I need to be friends with her right now.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Damn, that sounds like the immediate start part of a beautiful friendship. So
it was.
I'm
Yeah.
curious-
It was.
yeah, I'm curious about how you guys decide to come together to work on the MARCI show specifically. What about this attracted you guys?
Yeah. So
So I kind of halfway through my freshman year was this whole journalism thing is not super for me. I miss being creative. I miss writing in a creative way. And my friend Gianna was you should go out to comedy write for this show on EIV. So I applied, I got in, I was so excited, and then kind of just felt that myself and the other female identifying people in the writer's room were not being listened to as much as they should have been, or not in an equal sense. And I just really was taken with the idea of a late night comedy show, which I love. I've always been obsessed with late night comedy shows, but run by women and non-binary people, and catering to those audiences, because even in, not even just at Emerson, but even in the real world, there's not a ton of late night comedy done by women, and like all of the main late night hosts you can think of, men. And I just didn't like that, and I wanted to change it. So
Yeah, and then kind of how I got brought onto it was like we were sitting next to each other when Leah was like talking about like kind of how frustrated she was with her current like working setup, I guess, in this writer's room. And former general manager of EIV, Kylie Duff,
Shout out Kai Duff.
Shout out Kai Duff. She was like, "You should just pitch your own show." And so Leah turned to me and was like, "I don't really know how to do that. Would you do it with me?" Because at the time, Leah was still journalism. I was VMA. Like, I had been kind of like, I had some idea on how to do it, not tons, but like, I thought to myself, I was like, what's the harm in doing it? Because like the worst you can hear is no. Like, might as well just put it together. And we had like a week or so before pitch deadlines where like you had to like have your pitch packet in. And if you've never put together a pitch packet before in your life, there's a lot of things that go into it. It's a lot of like very like specific details, and if you're building it from the ground up, it's pretty stressful, and there's just like a lot you need to think about and a lot you need to figure out really, really fast. So like we had that conversation, we went back to my dorm, and
we had that conversation with Kylie Duff. We went to go get food at the Max, and then on the way like to like back to Little Building from the Max, so it goes, if you're serious about that, I would like do it with you. And then for the rest of the night we worked on the pitch packet.
Yeah, and we came up with the name the MARCI show. We were like batting that around for a while. We like decided the MARCI show, that's what it's gonna be, and then we were like, it's 2 a.m. we need to go to bed.
Yeah.
And then it was a lot of like really late nights after that, and just kind of like putting together like, okay, like we're gonna like get together like the budget spreadsheet and everything like that.
Yeah.
And
I like truly like the show would not have happened without Zoe in any sense. Like, she did so much of the heavy lifting, so much of the like figuring out what like forms we needed to fill out, and our whole budget. Even for like the first week of putting together the pitch packet, we didn't even have a tech EP with us, so
it was just the two of us.
It was just the two of us.
Like,
we were trying to figure it out together. Neither of us are very techie people, actually.
No,
so we really had to like rely on each other, and I'm so grateful that I had Zoe by my side for that.
I don't think I could have done it with anyone that wasn't Leah. So
wow.
Yeah.
Aww.
That sounds like such a beautiful pair, and I'm curious about how did that relationship evolve as you guys, you know, further went into production and, you know, got the cast together and got your crew together and eventually started your first episode?
That's a good question. Yeah. So the thing about Leah is that like the thing about Leah is that I think I've never met someone in my life that like is so kind of tuned to like my wavelength in a way. Like, I feel like she just kind of knows like what I'm going through, like what I'm thinking before I even really know it at a certain point. So it's just like we kind of were I think that like it was a really just easy like friendship to turn into like a producing partnership, just because we were kind of so in lockstep. And it also meant that like neither of us were afraid to be like, did you do that yet? You got to do that.
Yeah.
Like, it's
even in like still like second season, it'll be like a quick text like, did you book this room? And it's like, ooh, shoot, forgot. Hey, can you please do this?
Yeah. And then it's just like neither of us are really afraid to be like pester each other about something. But it's also like that doesn't have to happen a lot, because it's like if Leah asks me about something, it's like, oh well, I gotta do it right now. Yeah. It's also like we also live together, which is sometimes like probably like for some partners like wouldn't work a ton, because it's like you want to have some separation between like the person you're hanging out with a lot and also the person you're working with in like this professional manner.
Oh yeah, I can imagine after spending a ton of stressful days on set and then you come home and it's that same person you're looking at.
Exactly.
It's like actually so beautiful though, because it's so like, I'm sure like for many partnerships it would be that, and like obviously it's only been 2 seasons. What's to say what would happen if we were continuing this partnership for like years? But basically like we get home and we're like, oh my god, I'm so happy that like you're the person I'm doing this with. And then we eat Chipotle and watch The Traitors.
Yeah, it's also like in a logistics sense, on the MARCI show, we do very separate things. Like,
Yeah.
Leah's so much like the creative aspect of it. She does all the writers' rooms. Like, she's like the main, like, she handles all like the putting everything together. She handles all the graphics, and then she just kind of throws it my way. And I like to say that what I do is like I kind of build the base for everything. Everything else falls on top of that, and then I just kind of like tune it after that to make sure it all kind of just like slots into place. But when we're actively shooting, like when we're in the Debona and like we're rolling on the episode, Leah hosts the show. So like she's doing, like she's sitting there, she's like on air, everything like that. I'm like in the control room, like doing everything else. So we don't have a ton, we're not like kind of pinned at the hip, like doing the same thing. It's like we maybe run into each other about 5 times during the actual filming of the show.
Yeah.
So it's like when we meet at the end, it's like, oh, glad to see you.
Yeah, it's literally like, how was that for you?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
also like I'm just kind of like because I'm also like watching the show as it's being filmed. Like I'm standing in the control room like watching everything, and it's more so like it's like I like watching her do it. Like I think you're very good at hosting, and like it also, I think from a logistic standpoint, I'm sure like, you know, like you can't really listen to anything that like you are a part of and be like get the same kind of like laughs or anything from it. Like I'm sitting there like watching every joke, like it's like gotta hit like crazy. And so it's like I'm like it's just like so locked in, and then like I can just be like, there's my friend Leah. Like, yeah, that's like kind of just like how I feel like I go about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you, Leah? How do you feel like working in that environment, especially like because I've been in the Diabona a bunch of times. Like if you're in like one, like if you're in the control room and if you're in the studio, it's like being in two different worlds.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and there are a lot of responsibilities in that studio. You have people on the Venice, you have people on VC, you have people who are, I imagine, switching
Yeah.
too. Yeah, so you have a lot of responsibilities. So what was that process been like for you?
Yeah, for me, I mean, like Zoe mentioned, I'm the host. This season I'm the co-host with the wonderful Madeline Call. But yeah, like while they're setting up, I'm usually checking in with our co-host, running through the script really quick, checking on our talent if they're already there, making sure everyone just kind of has what they need, like sort of just being around in case anyone has a question, needs to talk to someone, finding like any gear we might have forgotten. But then yeah, once the show starts, I'm behind the desk and I'm only hearing what the stage manager is here to tell to me. So like it's very important that I, like, as an EP and host, trust everyone that I'm working with, especially Zoe and our other EP, Remy Klebanoff. It's so important that I trust them because I really don't know what's happening besides what I can see from behind the desk. So I just hope that I'm being funny, one, and that they've got it all figured out while I'm there, and I trust them, so I'm able to sort of take a deep breath. Like, I always say the easiest part of an in-studio day is actually doing the hosting for me, because it's just like, I just gotta read off the jokes that I helped write. So not super difficult in studio.
Yeah, and that must be really cool, being able to host while also writing too. I'm curious about how does hosting while writing the jokes also affect your creative process throughout the show and in the future?
Yeah, I think this is a good question. For the first season, I very much wanted to be the host, and we had played with the idea of 2 hosts, and I just was so scared because we'd never done it, and we had this idea that was so precious to us. Mm-hmm. I was so scared that the vision wouldn't come across correctly if if it wasn't coming from my mouth, basically. Yeah. So for the first season, I was very set on being the host, but then for the second season, I was like, okay, let's get someone else in here. Like, I'll still stay around, but I want, like, someone to bounce off of. I want another voice to be heard. So that's when we found a wonderful co-host, Madeline Call. And that's also just been fun to, you know, not be the only one reading the jokes. So oftentimes, like, we have a wonderful writing staff. I don't write most of the jokes. The writer's room does. And so it's not so much as I'm always reading, like, the jokes that I've written, but it's nice to be able to tailor more which jokes the writers have written to me or Madeline based on our comedic styles. Yeah, and I think that's been a really wonderful thing to play with. But next season, it'll be super interesting. Hopefully, if we get picked up for a third season, I won't be a host at all. So it'll be exciting to see what the two new hosts, like, end up doing. But I'm so excited to see that, and I'm so excited to, as I'm creative EPing again, get to see the show grow in that direction.
All right. Now, here's an interesting question, funny question, actually. If each of you had full creative control for one day, no feedback, no vetoes, you had unlimited power, an unlimited budget, what would you add or change to season 1 of the MARCI show?
Oh, season 1.
To season 1.
Yeah.
I would really throw, everything into the segment. Because the way that our show is structured, we do, like, monologue, which is, like, a weekend update kind of style, like, sitting at a desk delivering punchline, like news headline punchline. And then we have, like, a segment, which is kind of whatever we want to make it. We shoot it out of studio, everything like that. I would want to do, like, send the correspondents somewhere. Like, to get them to go cover something. Our correspondents last season were Tia Can Ozturk and Hillary Block. I would want to, like, send them to, oh my god, what was going on at the time? Anything fun, and just have them, like, interviewing people outside there or talking to people as it went in, and, like, kind of seeing what we could do, because the box score is sending their correspondents to a March Madness game, and I'm like, that sounds awesome. I want to send them to I would want to send them, like, a red carpet and have them, like, interview people on the red carpet. Don't know how we get that clearance, but dream world, that would be probably what I would want to do.
Yeah. What about you, Lia?
Oh my gosh, that's such a good question. What would if I had no vetoes, if I could do anything?
Unlimited power. I'm offering you unlimited power. Both of you.
I love the Debona. It's an amazing studio. I would love if it was more conducive to an audience.
Right.
And we were able to just bring in as much live audience as we could.
That's better than mine. Yeah.
No, yours was amazing. I think yours was so good that I was like, shoot, I have to come up with something else. But basically, like, I just think the more people in the room laughing and getting that excitement up, the better. And first season, we didn't have any live audience at all. Like, we couldn't even have our writers come sit in. So, yeah, I think I'd want, like, an SNL style audience, like a room set up like that.
That would be awesome, because even so in the Debona now, when we can have an audience, it's like they're kind of tucked away to, like, a corner as to not get in the way of the cameras and, like, all the foot traffic, and you have to, like, mic them up specifically for it to really hit, and it's just, like, so many moving pieces. Like, I just want to, like, build in, like, that would be awesome to have it, like, built in and, like, be, like, space for people to, like, come and listen to it.
Yeah, it would also be cool if they opened them to the public, so that way,
exactly.
That way, like, you know, they could pay a ticket and come in to see you guys every week.
Yeah, if we could make profits off of it, that'd be awesome too.
Oh my god, get that MARCI season 2-3 budget.
Exactly.
You know what I'm talking about?
Get the MARCI coin.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Yeah, you know, maybe you guys should start a crypto coin. Maybe, who knows?
Should.
Coin.
MARCI show takes on crypto.
Exactly. As the economy's crashing, we gotta get in there.
Definitely an idea.
Exactly.
All right. But I'm curious. Like, so far in the season, what would you say have been your favorite sketches or moments for you guys?
Oh, okay. So this is gonna be like a little bit of a sad one. We lost an episode our first season.
What?
It really sucked. We had an election special that we filmed, and unfortunately, due to like a technology issue in the Debona, we lost the episode, and it like got lost to the ether. It doesn't exist. We don't have the footage, which is like such a shame to me. We had a really fun bit about like different reactions as based on who won the election. We were like gonna say like, oh, we're just gonna put one in based on that, and I really like that bit. Even more so, we had a joke that like still remains my favorite joke. It's like ever since we started the show. It was written by our writer Joshua Garrison. He wrote this joke about like doing shrooms and how some guy like did something weird on shrooms, and he was like, that's why I always try, like I like craisins, and he like explained the concept of a craisin.
Yeah, he said it's like this, it's like a cranberry, but it's a raisin. Yeah, really great stuff.
Okay.
Really great stuff.
Yeah.
And I thought it was the funniest joke I'd ever
It's
heard
really
in my
funny.
life, and it's on the lost episode. And like even during the shoot of that episode, like the ill-fated shoot of that episode, I thought that we had like somehow gotten rid. I had thought that like somehow the craisin joke had gotten like lost, and I don't really get that involved in like the actual like script, but I was having a canary about this like craisin joke not being in there. I was like, there's no graphic for the craisin joke. Like it was fine. Like I was having a freak out of nothing, but in the end we lost it. But yeah, that's my favorite.
Such is what happens.
Yeah.
I'm curious if you guys have any other misadventure stories.
Yeah,
on the
well,
Marcy set.
Lee, what's your favorite? Well, that was our big one, but what was your favorite?
My favorite like
Misadventure.
Like
favorite misadventure, or like favorite thing that's happened on the show.
Favorite, either or. Either or.
Well, I will say like my favorite thing every single time is our guest segment. I love talking to the guests. I think it's so fun. Literally every single time I learn something new about the person, even like if I know them in real life. Like I learned something new. I guess that could bring me to sorry, Katie. Our first guest was on the first season, first episode was the wonderful Katie Pack. She lives in our suite. And, you know, I thought I knew everything there is to know about this girl, but we were talking and I asked her, because our guest segment is sort of sleepover themed, and she is a VMA student. She's massively into film. I asked her what her favorite sleepover movie would be, or like if she was going to have a sleepover, what's the perfect sleepover movie? And I thought she'd say like Princess Diaries or like something, and she goes Blue Velvet. And I was,
Blue Velvet.
and
Yeah.
kind of
Okay.
everyone in the studio was like, oh.
yeah, like everyone in the control room was like, oh,
For a sleepover?
yeah. And,
Okay.
so we reshot the segment.
Yeah, we reshot the segment anyways, just because we like to do it twice. And that part didn't make it in, but I think that is the funniest answer to that
Yeah.
question, and will forever be sad that
that
the
didn't
whole
make
world
it.
doesn't know that
Yeah.
about Katie Pack.
We also had Noah Berkowitz on once, who's the host
Oh, yeah.
of the Box Score.
And
And
they're
they,
awesome.
yeah, they're awesome. They went on this whole tangent once. One of the questions we asked guests is, what are you obsessed with lately? And they went on a really long rant about Pig State and like skeleton tech, like the Minecraft mob universities on TikTok.
Oh, yeah.
They went on this like
Like
2-minute
fantasy,
yeah,
Minecraft universities
Football. And they went on this whole like 2-minute long spiel about how much they loved it, who they were placing their bets on, and unfortunately that didn't make the cut because it was too long. But I do wish we could air that.
I honestly wish like we could have been like, this is actually just the whole episode and it's going to be 20 minutes on understanding
the fantasy setup
this
of
phenomenon.
the
Yes.
Minecraft mobs. Yeah.
Yeah. You could do an entire episode of just like analyzing all the Minecraft mobs and
Yeah.
their universities. And,
Yeah.
Yeah. That should be our season closer.
oh boy.
We should make Left to the MARCI show. We should make a new show about Minecraft.
I think we should.
Oh,
too.
perfect tie-in
With
for the Minecraft
Yeah,
we
movie.
just
we
saw it
saw
last
last
night.
night. Yeah.
Oh, what did you guys
awesome.
think of it?
Love. Can't remember what happened during it.
Oh my god.
It's crazy. Like, it's all just happening at once, but I know that I loved it.
I will say that, like, I don't need to see it again, but I wasn't disappointed. Like, it's a musical for, like, sorry for the spoilers, but, like, there are musical numbers. Yeah, that theater was, it was electric.
It was electric.
It was, like, I
People
had
were singing?
Oh, God. Like, it wasn't, like, songs that you would know. Like,
Yeah.
they made them for the Minecraft movie. Like, Jack Black sings a good amount.
Oh.
And, the feeling in that theater was akin to, like, Spider-Man No Way Home. Like,
genuinely, like
when Andrew
so
Garfield
alive.
and, like, Tobey Maguire come on the screen, that's kind of, like, how that theater felt. It was awesome.
I mean,
when,
yeah.
spoiler, Jennifer Coolidge falls in love with a villager?
Yes.
A villager.
Oh, God.
The eruption of joy and excitement in that theater is literally what I imagine it to have been, like, when you find out that Darth Vader is Anakin's father. Like,
Right.
Luke Skywalker's father.
Thank you.
Yeah.
When Darth Vader is Luke Skywalker's father, Anakin is Darth Vader.
Oh, damn.
Right.
Jennifer
right.
Coolidge is
right.
Emerson's mom.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So also big, like, we saw it at our AMC
With, like, on opening night.
with
So,
lots of Emerson students.
You know, there were a lot of Emerson
J.
heads
Cool.
there.
Oh,
Lots of
boy.
applause.
She's coming to the commencement this May.
And
Pissed,
we're
by the way.
pissed.
I'm like, what are we gonna get then?
We're not.
Yeah, we're not
graduating.
graduating. Doesn't, like, okay. We'll see.
Just
who they get
kidding,
for
we're
us.
excited.
We're
We're excited no matter what.
Congrats to the class of 25.
Yeah, I mean, who knows? Maybe Jen will pop by later for us.
Hey, hope. One can hope.
One can hope, yeah. But I'm curious, do you guys see something like the MARCI show as something that could continue beyond Emerson? And what are your hopes for the seasons going forward?
We always kind of saw the MARCI show as something that would at least exist beyond us.
Beyond us, for
Like,
sure.
we wanted it to be... We didn't want it to be, like, the Zoe and Lia show. Like,
Yeah, I mean, like, obviously neither of us are Marcy.
yeah.
Marcy is not anyone we know.
Marcy's not a person, Marcy's a concept.
Marcy's a vibe.
Yeah, so we, like, were very careful as to not make the show, like,
About us.
about us or about, like, whatever. It was more, the ethos of the show is we want it to be here for people who know they're funny and they, like, want the space to be funny, but they just haven't had it before. And we kind of want that to always be a space that exists
At Emerson.
So we want it, like, it's a show that, like, I hope it changes and I hope it evolves and I hope that it continues to, like, meld to each host and, like, evolve with, like, every person who comes through it. And, like, I really, like, I want it to be, like, a thing that exists beyond us after we graduate and then, or at least after both of us depart from the show.
Yeah, one of, like, the most beautiful things that I hear from some of our writers is that they've always wanted to write comedy, but they didn't know where to do that. And it usually comes from, you know, people have been at Emerson for a while and they just weren't sure where, like, their voice would be heard comedically. And oftentimes the people telling that to us are some of our funniest writers. Like, some of our writers that just understand
Like,
the art form so
yeah,
masterfully.
just, like, banger after banger. Like,
Yeah, we have, like, every time we have our writers come in to like, audition, interview with us, we have them come back for a callback where we've given them a few headlines and we have them write a few jokes. And every single time I am astounded by how amazing all of the submissions are. Like, it is truly every single time, like, inspiring to me comedically, inspiring, like, just on a whole that this many funny people exist, and especially this many funny people who are conscientious with their subject matter and who it's going to affect, and making sure that, you know, they're just being responsible with their comedy.
Yeah.
And it's really not that hard. It's
Yeah.
really not that hard, and a lot of people are doing it very wonderfully. So our dream ultimately is just for the MARCI show to exist as long as it can, to give as many people an opportunity to work on something like that.
Yeah. Comedy holds a lot of power, which I think is what we've realized over the course of the show. And, like, the things that you make the butt of the joke, they become a joke in real life. Like, we don't take them as seriously.
Mm-hmm.
And oftentimes that comes at the expense of minorities and women, everything like that. So we want to give people a chance to write comedy in a way that like uplifts other people, doesn't punch down, doesn't like
Punching up.
exactly
Yes.
Punching
exactly
down.
we're big, we love to punch up, like it's
Yeah.
a big thing that we
Yeah.
do on the show. Like, we want, like, and that also doesn't degrade the comedy, it doesn't make it any less funny, it just like, it makes the jokes like, it genuinely makes them funnier because
Yeah.
like
Because they're more relevant.
They're
because you're
more-
calling attention to power structures that have
Exactly.
been historically harmful.
Yeah.
exactly, like you're making light like it's not, it's an easy way out to target someone else with the jokes you make that's below you. Finding the humor and finding ways to like make things funny without having to target someone else truly makes the best comedy. Like, and I think that's what we've realized over the past 2 seasons.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing. And I'm curious about where other people could find your show if they're curious. Do you guys plan on uploading anything on YouTube? Where do you guys?
They're on YouTube.
Yeah, they're on YouTube.
We're on, if you go to the Emerson Independent Video EIV YouTube, you can
That's
You
where you
can-
can find
yeah,
it.
that's where you can find the MARCI show. We're on Instagram at the MARCI show EIV.
Yes, we're trying to get our TikTok like more,
Yeah, so follow us on
poppin'.
TikTok as well.
but hopefully that'll be soon. But follow us on Instagram and you'll be first to know when our TikToks go live.
And our most recent episodes features both me and Leah. Fun fact.
TikTok?
No, sorry. Our most recent episode, like our full episode, Snail Race.
Oh,
Quick shout out
yes.
to Snail Race, by the way. Snail Race was a pitch that, once again, Joshua Garrison, much love to him, he's so funny. He pitched during his callback to be a writer for our first season. Like, we asked them for a segment idea, and he just pitched. All he wrote was, Snail Race, you get 2 snails, and you have the race.
Oh,
And
damn.
we couldn't get that out of our heads. We
It
said
made
that's,
us laugh so hard.
We said that's fantastic. So we were,
So we made it.
that whole season, we were insistent. We were like, okay, we got to Snail Race at some point.
And we worked through a lot of ideas of like, so like, are we able to buy snails? If we buy snails, what are we doing after the segment? Genuinely, it was getting to a point where Zoe and I were like,
So wait, there was an actual conversation about putting snails.
Yes,
on
there
stage?
was like
there was
a heavy logistics
a heavy
conversation about
logistics
snails.
conversation of how we could do it
'Cause-
with, obviously, with care to the animals involved.
right,
Like, I was ready to become a snail mother of 2 in
Okay.
order to make
Yeah.
this happen.
like there's a thing, you can't get live animals on the on EIV's dime.
so we were
Okay.
We were gonna like shill out our own
Own
money
money
on snails.
to buy snails for us to own forever, as long as they shall live caringly,
and
Oh,
then
damn.
just for the purpose of
just
them
for
racing,
snail race.
and then
We realized
we could have
that
thought better of that at a certain
that
point. We were
was
like,
a lot.
let's not do that. So then the idea transformed into getting people on like skateboards and getting snail costumes, which we did end up doing. You can purchase them on Amazon.
yeah, snail
We
costumes.
are now the proud owners of not 2 snails, but 2 snail costumes.
Costumes.
And putting people on we rounded up 2 skateboards, and we were gonna like push these snails through the commons on skateboards. Unfortunately, can't get a permit in the commons when you're using a skateboard. Learned that the hard way.
And it was raining on the day we filmed it.
It was like a lot of things kind of not like aligning, but I really like Snail Race.
It
is awesome.
still is awesome.
Snail Race is generational.
Yeah, Zoe absolutely beat me 100%.
Thank you so
As-
much.
As Snail Zoe.
Mhm.
Snail Leah was indeed slower.
Okay, well, I hope you guys finish this race. No matter who wins, I hope you guys finish it together, because honestly, you deserve to finish it together.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, guys, this has been in the MARCI show. This is Leah McClue and Zoe McKay. Thank you guys for watching. Be sure to tune into their episodes on EIV YouTube. You can also follow them on Instagram.
At
And-
the MARCI show.
at the
yeah.
At
MARCI
the
show.
MARCI show, EIV. And do we plug our personal Instagram?
And plug your personal Instagrams if you want to.
Leah B 2014, LIABEE 2014.
And I'm Zoe.McKay with 2 Y's. If you want to hit that up as well.
All right. Thank you guys for joining us at this episode of the FrameCAST. Good night, Boston. And Yeah, it's actually a warm day today.
Yeah,
So
It is.
yeah, you know what?
Go enjoy.
Go enjoy it
enjoy,
outside.
get out there.
Get out.